This episode is brought to you by my bookkeeping strategy sessions. When it comes to your bookkeeping, you're probably in one of these three areas: doing it yourself, outsourcing some or all of your bookkeeping to a professional, or understanding what the reports mean and making better business decisions from that information. Each of these stages comes with different struggles and questions, and I can help with all three. Bring your questions and I'll bring some solutions. To book one of these sessions, email me at lydia@dacbalance.com. Now on with the show. You've started a home-based service business and you have found that running a business is harder than it looks and more overwhelming than you ever thought it would be. This podcast is the best of the best information that I've learned to help grow and sustain my business. Listen, subscribe, and follow along. We can avoid the overwhelm and start creating a business we love to run. Welcome back to the podcast. If you are listening in real time, then we are nearing the end. Well, we're in the middle of October right now, and we are also in the middle of our outsourcing series. So we started this in episode 52, where we talked about the difference between a bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, and CFO. And in episodes 53 and 54, we talked about your expectations for your bookkeeper and your bookkeeper's expectations for you. And in episode 55, that was a bonus episode of a book review. Episode 56 was all about where we find an independent contractor bookkeeper. Episode 57 is about the difference between a good, better, and best bookkeeper. And a few of those episodes have accompanying PDF guides, and you can find those guides in our private Facebook group. If you go to lydiagmiller.com/join, you can answer a few questions, enter your email, and then I will approve you to be a part of the group. So in today's episode, I want to share with you about 3 signs of a sloppy bookkeeper. Now, you can have a bookkeeper who is stealing money from you and covering it up, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about bookkeepers who aren't stealing from you, but they're just a little bit careless, and these are just things to be looking out for. Number 1, they don't ask for receipts. They never ask you for receipts for purchases that you've made, and they have to have and this is a problem because they have to have this information to categorize expenses appropriately. But if they never ask you for the information, then they're just guessing. And if you aren't providing those receipts, then that's a sign that if they're asking for it and you aren't providing it, then that's a sign, well, that you're a sloppy business owner. So make sure that you and your bookkeeper have a system of how you provide all of your receipts and reasons for purchase. Otherwise, you don't have a good bookkeeping system set up. Number 2, they aren't consistent with their categorizing. If you look at the detail in your chart of accounts and realize that for a recurring charge, like Adobe subscriptions are put into 5 different categories. One month it's in subscriptions, another it's in marketing, another it's in computer, another it's in cost of goods sold, and it's the same thing every single month. It's the same charge and the same reason every single month. Then they aren't being consistent, and that is a huge red flag. They need to be putting the transactions in the right category every single month and double checking their work. I always double check my work because I know that I'm prone to error, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it right all the time. So you want to make sure that everything is still being consistently categorized. If your CPA mentions this to you that, hey, a lot of things were off or a lot of things were wrong, then that's a sign of a sloppy bookkeeper. Number 3, they don't get you your information timely. This doesn't mean that they're done with it on the 1st or even the 2nd of the month sometimes, but if they can't have you the information by the 10th of the month, then there's a problem there. They should be able to get you the previous month's information quickly and accurately so that you can look back and see what you did in the last month and quickly make adjustments for the current month. If they're not getting you information until the 20th, then you can either ask for the information sooner or you need to find someone who can get you the information that you need faster. again, 3 things that are signs of a sloppy bookkeeper. Number 1, they don't ask for receipts and they just guess on where things are going. Number 2, they aren't consistent with their categorizing. And number 3, they don't get you your information timely. Those are 3 red flags that you either need to request the information from your bookkeeper, or you may need to set up new expectations like we talked about in previous episodes, or it may be time to find another bookkeeper. These are 3 common problems and complaints that I hear about business owners making about their bookkeeper, especially with the timeliness issue there. Again, these aren't bad people, and they're not out to get you. They're not doing this maliciously, but they might not be trained properly, or they might be downright lazy, and you don't want them on your team. So if you have a bookkeeper like this, and you're looking for someone else, let me encourage you to listen through the first part of this series. I go through where you can find a bookkeeper. You can set expectations for them, where you'll know a good bookkeeper's expectations for you, and you can start this process of finding someone new, or even working with your current bookkeeper on how to have a better relationship there. Also, in our private Facebook group, you can find my PDF resources to help you find that perfect fit for your team and your business.